Almost a year and a half after 4 University of Idaho students were found stabbed to death in their off-campus home, the suspect charged with their murders is still awaiting a trial date. Bryan Kohberger is charged with 4 counts of murder in the deaths of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogen, and Kaylee Gonsalves. During Kohberger's last hearing, both the prosecution and the defense asked the trial date to be set in 2025. The judge did not set a date, apologizing to the victims' families, saying he wanted to make sure the trial only happened once. Let's bring in criminal defense lawyer who has represented high-profile clients like Michael Jackson, Winona Ryder, Mark Geragos. Sir, it's always good to see you. Mark, what's the deal here? I mean, the prosecution stated it's about 95% finished with processing evidence. So what's the advantage in asking for a 2025 trial date?
Well, I've always thought that this thing was this case, because it's a capital case, meaning special circumstances, potentially life without parole is on the table here, and they were working at kind of a warp speed. Given all of the DNA evidence, given that it's a highly or almost exclusively circumstantial evidence case, I thought it was highly ambitious to think that you are going to try this case in 2024. And so when you have both the prosecution and the defense asking for 2025, I understand what the judge did, which is apologize to the victims' families. But the fact remains that, as he says, I only do it once, means he doesn't want to get reversed because the defense is saying we were ineffective.
Yeah. I also, Mark, I want to bring up a graphic showing some of the most high-profile U.S. murder trials in recent memory and how much time passed between the initial crime and the trial start date. So if Kohberger's trial begins on March 3rd, 2025, as the prosecution has requested, that'd be 841 days after the crime, almost 4 times as long as it took for the O.J. Simpson trial, just about twice as long as the Scott Peterson trial, on which you worked.
Exactly. And I will tell you that Scott was at warp speed. And that one of the reasons for that was that Scott did not want to waive his speedy trial rights. That you have a right in America to go to trial under the Constitution in a set period of time. You can't just languish in jail. And so Kohberger holds the keys to that kind of train stopping or starting, if you will. He could say, I don't waive my right to a speedy trial. This case could be tried this year. I don't think that's likely. Most clients listen to their lawyers.
The other thought that I had, Mark, when I was thinking about this and this delay is, what impacts does this kind of delay have on an eventual jury in the trial? I mean, would that give an upper hand to Kohberger?
Yes, I think it does. Upper hand in the sense that, look, when you have a case that is this high profile, that has this kind of attention from the media, one of the things that you hope for as a defense lawyer is that the interest in it will die down, that some other case, some other event is going to come along that will kind of get the public focused there as opposed to on your client. And that will reduce, at least the thinking is, that will reduce the amount or judgment of guilt or people who had come to a trial with a prejudgment of guilt.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing, some of the victims' families were at last week's hearing. Kaylee Gonsalves' father spoke to our own Ashley Banfield about this, talking about the frustration his family feels with all these delays. Let's take a listen together real quick.
Overwhelmed with so much evidence that they're having a hard time defending it, and there's never going to be enough time for them.
Well, so, Mark, will the judge take into consideration the victims' families when setting a trial date? I mean, how heavily does that weigh on a judge?
Very, very. And I think it's a good point you make. When they articulate, when they give voice to the fact that they don't want to wait any longer. I mean, one of the things that I've seen during my career is kind of this focus on the idea of closure for victims' families. I think what the judge is trying to say, and what he's already telegraphed here, is, I understand your frustration with the system. However, I only want to do this once, meaning I don't want to force the defense to trial before they're ready, because then that is going to give them the ability to argue on appeal if there is a conviction that they weren't ready and that there was a kind of quantity of evidence that they couldn't defend against. In this case, given the circumstantial nature of this case, I have always thought that there was no way this case was going to get tried anytime within the this year time frame, or at least until the end of this year.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.